Hi, this is Martin, and this is my budget. Before we go any further, I want to read you something. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. It's from the King James Version. Okay, this is my budget. First of all, when you download this budget, you want to keep a spare copy on hand. So in case of something happens, you still have one copy that's untouched. That's a little footnote. And second, now we go into the budget. And I have a saying, you can either control your money or your money will control you. This is a budget I use for years on end. I've been modifying as I've been going. This is a basic budget. Mine's much more complicated, but this is the basic one for people for beginning. Because in the bank, I have checking, savings, and funds. For loans, I have home loan, car loan, school loan. And for credit, I have credit card one, credit card two, and totals, I have indebtedness, savings, and totals. And then if you want to track your money, I have 6 different tracking systems right here. And if you notice, all this is color coded. The gold areas, that's the ones you can change without affecting the budget. Like if you go to loan, you can see you got home, car, and school. Now, if you come back here, you don't. If you're renting, R-E-N-T, rent, then you go back to loans. It's automatically updated. So this is not in gold anymore, but it's in blue. All the gold areas you can put stuff in. We can change your budget. And just like when you track your money, let's say you don't want to track food. Okay, so you go to the checking, you got food there. You go to credit card one, you got food there. You go to credit card two, you got food there. So as you can see, as long as you just change it in the gold area, you're good to go. You put back to one and back to home. Okay, now let's talk about the rest of the areas on the summary page. Money you can spend. If you take a look at it, I break it down where you got you got money in your funds that's saved for bills, and you got money you can spend. And this is going to be a quick, easy reference how much money you got to spend. And it also controls how much interest you pay, because I have a saying, interest makes someone else's rich. So you got to realize how much money you're making someone else rich in. Each one is for the car, a home, car, and school, and both credit cards. And then you got the total down here. And that completes all the summary page. But I got to do one further stuff. When you control your money, you want to keep a record of it from month to month. And this is what this yellow area is for. If you take a look at this yellow area, after the month is done, you want to put it in this budget, because basically what it is, all this area, I should change this area to green. Change this area to green. Change this area to green, because these are the areas you don't want to mess with because they're all automatic. Because if you take a look at the first year, there's no zeros in it, because the main reason for the no zeros, because it refers to the last year. And if you take a look at the X's, in the red area, you can see the X's right here. That's what I put the year in, so I know what year is where. So I'm giving you 9 years of record keeping. Because what you want to do is you want to set a goal to see how your indebtedness and how you compared to last year, how you're doing. It'll show you. I know things come up, things are good, things are bad, but this gives you a record keeping of how everything is going. And I think that's very, very important. So let's go back to the budget. And we go to the income page first. I have 5 sources of income. As you can see, the gold up here, and it's not down here. So basically, if you have, let's say, your job, it changes down there. So everything is linked. So this, as you can see, it's 5 weeks. Pay G stands for gross, pay N stands for net. And yes, I put a tithe area in there and it's all linked together. So if you get paid weekly, you get $1,000. You can see how everything updates. Next week you get $1,000. Or if you, and like I said, if you get another income just like once a month for like $2,500, it all adds up and it all goes in here for tithe. I can't tell you how to tithe or what to tithe, but this is 10%. So that's what I have. And you also want to figure, your net pay, is it probably $800 this one? Let's say 225 in that one, 800 in this one. So the net total is 4,500, but the gross total is 3,850. So that's basically how it set it up. So if you go to the funds page, oh, this one should be blue too. Oh, wrong color, sorry about that. That blue, okay, because that shouldn't be changed. And if you see, it needs to be put in. So basically what it is, the funds page is like you have an electric bill. Electric bill, let me put electric bill right there. And let's say your estimated electric bill is, let's say $150. Okay, so every month, every week you get paid, let's say you put $40 in one week, $40 in the next week, $40 in. Then the 4th week you put $30 in. And then you have $150 in there. So when your bill comes due, you can actually take it out and spend and pay it. Now let me show you something. Okay, when you do this, if you take a look right here, you have $150 for total. And you got $450 right here because you need to put $450 in up here. Let's put $450 in just to get rid of that. Okay. So you got $600 in the total funds. And you do that for all your all your monthly bills. And you have bills 6 months, and this amount is per month. So if you have like insurance, car insurance, car insurance, and it's the total of $600 every 6 months. So we put in here, it'd be $100, because because in 6 months you have $600, and so that's $25 a week. Then you have a grand total. And then what this is the past due. So next month, you'll put, when you clear it out, you'll put $100 there, and I'll cover that later. So that's how this is basically set up. And what this also tells you, when you put all your monthly bills, all your 6 months bills, all the yearly bills in here, this will tell you how much you need right here per month for a minimum. Because even you can put your food bill and how much you spend on food up here and divide it into 4 weeks. And then that's going to show you how much you need per month for a minimum amount of money you need to have to bring in. And then you go to checking. And as you can see, $700 are in funds. In the beginning, that's the money you have to put in, or what you have to actually put in. So let's say your account starts at $1,000. Okay, you got $1,000 in your account, but you have $700 in funds. So your money you can spend is $300. And it's right here is $300 without funds. But according to the bank, you should have $1,000. And that's how these items are read. And total in and total out. So it can keep track of how much money a month you're putting in your account and how much money is going out of your account. And now it says check number. If you have a check number, that's where you put it. But if you don't have a check number, I use 4 X's. And let's say I want $100 to go out and have fun with. So and when I do the date, I do it by numbers. I say 4 is April, 4th day, 23rd, year 23rd. And then that automatically put it as a military setup. And the type right here, the type is these numbers right here. So if you want to change, if you want to say, hey, let's go back to summary, type 3, I want to see how much gas is. You change that to gas. Then you go back to checking. It says gas. And then you said $100, let's say for fun, and put $100 when it clears the bank. So it automatically tells you, hey, you've taken out $100 so far. The money you have to spend is $200. And your account, what the bank should say is $100, right? $900 right here. Now let's put some money in the bank. X. Then you deposit, let's say $500. And the date for, let's say 10/23. And let's say gift. You put nothing in the cleared item because the cleared item takes stuff away. So now let's say you write a check. Check number is 1, 2, 3, 4. And you wrote the check for, let's say $500. And let's say $300. And then you just wrote the check. You don't put the date because it hasn't been processed yet. And let's say for more fun. Yeah. And you leave that blank because basically what you did is you wrote the check for $300. It automatically takes it out because right here 100 and 300 is $400. So it automatically takes it out of this. So it's taken out $400. But since you hasn't been cleared yet, you still have $1,400 in your account. So you know how much money you have minus the check, because you can't take that from your check. Now, when your check clears, you put the date in, let's say 4/15/23, and then you put $300 in. Now, as soon as I hit enter, you can see everything changes, except for money. That will stay the same. So basically what it is, that changed and this changed. Now, since it cleared the bank, this is the correct number for the bank. This should always match your bank. And the money that's your spending money. And in funds, that's what's in your funds. Now, let's see, your funds, let's say your electric bill comes, okay? Let's put the X's in here. Was it $100? Electric bill's 150. 150. Oh, I can't type anymore. 150 electric and 150. Now, when you do that, it takes that money away from your money. Everything else is taken away from the bank, and everything else is good. But what you got to do when you take the electric out, you got to come back to funds. Electric bill $150. You got to take it out of the funds, 150. Then it goes to zero. Then you got 550 in your funds now. Then you go back to checking. Now you got back the $400 and 550 is there. So it balances out. And you got to be very careful, because when you pay your bill and when it's in your funds, you got to take it out of your funds. That's how the money moves back and forth. And that will keep you saying, hey, this money is tied up in my funds, but this is because that $550 has already been, I say, marked for bills for your funds, and you have $950 in your account, but your money is $400. And it works very well. So when you get it down to a science, it takes time to do it. It took me 3 years because you had to pay it twice. When you actually paying the bill, then you putting the money offside the bill. And after you get putting all the money off for the side, so when the bill comes, you have the money for the bill. And it's very nice. And then the stress level goes down a lot. So that's how I do the funds page. So let's go back. Let's go to the next one. It's called savings. Obviously, you got to put the beginning balance in. Let's say $500. And deposit, as I say, let's put $1,000 in. And the date, say March. That's good. As you can see, everything's done. If you want to take money out, let's take 500 out. And it shows everything updates automatically. So the beginning balance is $500 and the ending balance is $1,000, because total in is $1,000, total out is $500. So that's how it works. And the same, that's the savings. And now we go to the credit cards. Credit cards. Oh, this one has to be gold. And this one has to be gold. Sorry about that. But so at the beginning balance, you want to put the beginning balance as, let's say, negative $500. As you can see, it goes to red. When you buy something on credit, let's say something costs $40, and that's where, let's say, $40 for gas. And if you take gas, that's number 3, type 3, date. And gas. So that's all good to go. And if you make a payment, you want to say, let's say $100. You put in for a payment. Okay, then you put in the payment. Then you come over to the payment over here. When you do a transaction online, they always give you a number or some type of code that say, hey, this is your receipt for your payment. So you put that code in here. Sometimes it's numbers, whatever. So you can keep a quick, easy reference as the payment, when it is, and your receipt number. Now, at the end of the billing cycle, you have interest, and the interest, let's say, is $25, and that's interest. Okay, interest. Well, you got to do. You also got to put the interest up here. Yeah. So when you do that, everything is good. And I put sometimes the end of the statement is in the middle of the month or whenever. And this has to be gold also. Sorry about that. So what I usually do, quick easy reference, is at the end of the statement I put whatever it is. Let's say at the end of the statement it was 400 and negative 465 at the end of the statement, because as you can see, when the end of the statement is, the bank will roll into a different statement, and if you need to correct something, they'll give you where it's at. So it helps you out a little bit, and that's all is covered in the credit card. And credit card 1 and credit card 2 is the same thing. Oh, yeah, the payment's right there. Payment's right there. Okay. Now we go to the loans. Home loan. You put in the your payment, how much payment is. If your house payment is $600 and your car is $250 and student is $300, it tells you the exact amount how much it is. And the escrow for the house payment, let's say it's $150. As you can see, when you put it in escrow, it adds it down here for the total over here. And you can see this one is gold. So that's from the last month. If the last month have 150 in it, so now you have $300. Then you get the principal. The principal should be around 200, and the interest is 250. And then the end of the balance is negative, let's say 50,000. And the car loan is, let's say, 10,000. Student, 1,000. 10,000 and 20,000. No. That doesn't add up, does it? Oh, yeah. Duh. Negative. My mistake. I hate when I make little stupid mistakes like that. Yeah. Negative, negative, negative. Okay. And so basically the principal is 50, 200, school 75, 225. Okay. So basically you just fill it out when it comes due. It gives all the numbers here. Everything's filled out automatically. And then down here it says home insurance. The spaces down here, what I usually put in is like when you have the insurance, you got an insurance number, the company, points of contact, all the information that you want to put it for a quick, easy reference. So if something happens to your house, you don't have to go through, dig through all your papers. It's right here. And then let's go to life insurance. Life insurance, you put the name of the name of who you covered, your account number, what type. It's either uh, term, a whole life, how much, how much, if it's like 100,000, 10,000, or a million, or whatever you put here, and the amount, that's a monthly amount, when it ends or when it matures, the phone number of the of the people of the how you say of the place of the insurance place, and who is covering. So so that's all that is. And also the medical problems. This is like your doctor's names or any pertinent information for a quick, easy reference. You can put in here. And now, if you take a look at it, everything's all set up because everything's all filtered. Like I said, all the stuff you can change is in gold, and everything else adds up. Your total indebtedness is 80,465. Your savings is 1,000. And if you take a look at it, if you take 1,000 away from that, it doesn't add up. Because what it does, it also takes you checking and your funds into this equation. So that's your total. And then when you get the total in, then what you do is I go like this, and I put these three over here. And after a year you're doing it, then it'll, how do you say, find out how much, if you're going in the right direction or the wrong direction. Let me do this real quick for you. Total is negative 78.5. Then savings $1,000. Now, when you do the indebtedness, you want to leave off the negative. So you put 80. 465. Okay. So right here, So if your indebtedness goes up, let's say your indebtedness is 80,000 the next year. Oops, I did it again. 80,000. So you went negative $14,085 for last year. And your savings, let's say you went to 1,000, let's go 5,000. And you made a $4,000 grant. And then your indebtedness is, let's say 85,000. And it increased by over 4,535. And that's how you can keep track of how you're doing from year to year. It's real nice because sometimes it surprises you because you may have a bad month, but you think you have a bad month, but when you compare it to the last month and the last year, it makes a big difference. And that's how my system works. And now, let me show you, because what happens is when you go to the next month, you go to File, you go to Save As, you go Browser, and you can see it's under Videos because I'm making the videos. So what I do is, let's say, next month, hit Save. When you hit Save, at the very top, that's supposed to be an X. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. So what you got to do now, gets complicated. You go to the income, you delete this, and you delete that because the income is all wiped out. Now, when you go to the funds page, it's a little bit different. You take all the stuff in the green and you transfer it to past. So 450, 000, and car insurance is $100. Then after you copy everything off the green to the past, then you take all these numbers and you delete them. And then you take all these numbers and delete them. And then everything's good to go again, because then electric bill, you need $150 for the next month, not this month, but for the next one. So you need to put in 150. Car insurance, you got $100 in for last month, but you still need to put $100 in for this month. So you still got to put $100 in. And tithe, since there's no income, there's no tithe, but that's, you bring it over from last month. And that's how you do the the funds page. Then when you go to checking, you take $950 because that's what's in your bank. Then you transfer it to this one, $950. Then you hit enter. Then after you do that, then you delete everything down here. You have to do it this way because if you delete delete the bottom, it will change that number. But when you take this number first and transfer it over here, everything will be good. Because if you take a look at it in the funds page, you still got $550 in the funds. And you take a look at checking and funds, $550. You got $950 in there. $950 minus $550 equals $400 for you can spend. And then you begin the month again. Then in savings, you do the same identical thing. You take the the balance right here. You transfer it to there, $1,000. And then you delete this. And the beginning balance is equals to the ending balance. And the credit card, what you got to do, the ending balance, you got to transfer over here. So it's negative 465. Hit that. Then you delete all the stuff. Now, what you don't want to do is go all the way like that, because the black area is the codes to do all this. So you got to delete just this area right here, and then come over here and delete that area. You do not want to delete anything in the back, in the black, because let me show you something. If you take this and change it to a different color, that's all programming. So you don't want to change any of it. You don't want to hit any deletes in here. And then after you do that, you go to the interest and you delete the interest, because you got to wait to the statement that tells you how much interest you need to put in there. And then you do the same thing. And then the loans, you delete all this right here. Oh, I'm sorry, you got me take it back. The first thing you got to do, you take the total $300 right here, and you transfer it here first. And then after you do that, then you delete the section right here. Then you get $300, $300, and then you're done. Oh, I forgot to tell you, when you take out when you take the money out, let's say insurance came out here, you can type it right in here for insurance or whatever. And in a nutshell, that is my budget. I told you how to work the budget. I told you how to take these numbers and put it in to account for the monthly budget, so you can keep track of your money monthly. And that's it. And at the end of the video, I said, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to get a copy of this budget, go down to the description and click on the link. It'll take you to my Patreon webpage, and you can download it for a small fee. And I will be also making budgets, more complicated budgets, or if you need a budget specifically made for your stuff, like for stocks, bonds, IRAs, mutual funds, I can do it. And at that note, you have a nice day and enjoy. Bye-bye. Oh, thanks for watching. Bye.